There are approximately 2,800 billionaires on Earth. Only a handful know this car exists. There's a car sitting in a private collection right now that cost more than $13 million. Not a hypercar. Not a limited-run supercar. A Rolls-Royce. A two-seater with no production run. No marketing campaign and no back seat. The kind of car that most billionaires will never see because it was never meant for them. This is the Rolls-Royce Sweptail. And 3 years later, Rolls-Royce did it again with the Boat Tail. A $28 million statement that luxury had entered a dimension most of us didn't know existed. These cars shouldn't exist. Legally, they're nightmares. Financially, they're irrational. From an engineering standpoint, they're madness. And yet, they represent the future of wealth, because in a world where you can buy anything, the only luxury left is owning something no one else ever will. May 2017. Villa d'Este, Italy. One of the world's most prestigious automotive gatherings. Rolls-Royce unveiled a car that nobody knew existed.
We were delighted to present this exquisite Rolls-Royce to our valued customer last night, an exciting journey of conceptualization.
The Sweptail debuted with a price of approximately 10 million British pounds, roughly 13 million US dollars, making it the most expensive new car in the world at that time. But this wasn't a surprise to generate buzz. This was a secret kept for 4 years. Commissioned in 2013 by a superyacht and aircraft specialist, the car was hand-built over 4 years based on the Phantom Coupe platform. But calling it a modified Phantom is like calling the Sistine Chapel a painted ceiling. The name derives from its defining feature, a swept rear profile tapering into a bullet tip, inspired by racing yachts and classic Rolls-Royces from the 1920s. Former design director Giles Taylor called it the automotive equivalent of haute couture, and he was right. Because haute couture isn't fashion you wear, it's fashion that defines an era. Now, Rolls-Royce is famously discreet, but the Sweptail is owned by Hong Kong-based Sam Lee, son of billionaire real estate mogul Samuel Tak Lee. This wasn't a purchase, this was a commission. Someone walked into Rolls-Royce headquarters and said, "I want a car that doesn't exist." And Rolls-Royce said yes. Not because they needed the money, but because they could. Here's the uncomfortable truth. These cars make no financial sense. Even at $13 million, Rolls-Royce likely didn't turn a massive profit. 4 years of design and engineering, thousands of man-hours, one-off tooling, materials sourced for this single car, and legal compliance for a vehicle that doesn't fit any regulatory category. By traditional manufacturing metrics, this is financially irrational. A standard Phantom starts around $450,000. Rolls-Royce can build multiple Phantoms in the time it takes to build one Sweptail. So why do it? Because Rolls-Royce isn't selling cars, they're selling mythology. When the Sweptail debuted, every major automotive publication covered it. Social media exploded. YouTube videos generated millions of views, all for a car that exactly one person could buy. That's not marketing, that's alchemy. Rolls-Royce turned a single vehicle into a global conversation about what luxury means, and they were just getting started. 4 years after the Sweptail, Rolls-Royce launched the Boat Tail. Estimated price, £20 million, approximately $28 million US. Not one, three, each completely unique. The Boat Tail became the world's most expensive street-legal new car with 1,813 bespoke parts. Butterfly-hinged rear deck panels opening at precisely 67 degrees to reveal a hosting suite with refrigerators, custom Christoffel cutlery, carbon fiber stools, and a deployable parasol. 2 handcrafted Beauvais Swiss timepieces that remove from the dashboard and wear on the wrist. Exclusive to the Boat Tail and unavailable for purchase anywhere else. Custom paint featuring oyster and soft rose hues with white and bronze mica flakes. One commission featured a cognac-colored hood inspired by the owner's private pearl shell collection. 3 clients approached Rolls-Royce after the Sweptail reveal, all sharing a love for boat design. Rolls-Royce formalized what had been a one-off experiment into something bigger, the coachbuild division. In January 2025, Rolls-Royce announced over £300 million invested to expand their Goodwood facility specifically for bespoke projects. £300 million to build fewer cars. CEO Chris Brownridge said explicitly, "What we are not trying to do is make more Rolls-Royces. Here's what they figured out. Building one $28 million car generates more brand value than building 28 $1 million cars. Every time someone Googles most expensive car, they see Rolls-Royce. Every time a boat tail appears at an event, people whisper. Every post generates millions in earned media. The Sweptail and Boat Tail aren't products. They're marketing weapons disguised as automobiles." Let's talk about the kind of wealth we're dealing with. If you're worth $100 million, you can afford almost anything. Private jets, oceanfront estates, a garage full of Ferraris. But here's the problem. So can 10,000 other people. At a certain level, traditional luxury becomes common. You're at an event in Monaco, you park your Bugatti Chiron, there are 3 more in the lot. Your yacht is 150 feet. The one next to you is 200. Your Patek Philippe? Everyone's wearing one. When you have everything, how do you prove you're different? The Sweptail and Boat Tail solve a problem most people don't know exists. The problem of being unremarkable at the top. Think about the psychological drivers. Immortality through design. In 100 years, there will still only be one Sweptail, one Boat Tail. Your descendants inherit something that cannot be replicated. Ego expression. The second Boat Tail was commissioned by a client whose family business grew from the pearling industry. The paint was based on 4 pearl shells from his private collection. This car doesn't just represent wealth, it represents him, his family, his story. Secrecy as status. Rolls-Royce maintains confidentiality about Boat Tail owners, though rumors persist about prominent figures in business and entertainment. When your wealth is known, the flex is not being known. The ultimate power move? Having a $28 million car that people don't even know you own. To understand why these cars matter, we need to go back to the 1920s and 30s. Back then, luxury marques like Rolls-Royce outsourced coachwork to specialist houses. A customer could have a rolling chassis delivered to their chosen coach builder who would design and build a car body to exact specifications, similar to ordering a suit from a Savile Row tailor. You wanted a touring car? Done. A boat tail design inspired by yachts? Absolutely. These weren't cars, they were mobile sculptures. By 1965, when Rolls-Royce introduced the Silver Shadow, the shift to monocoque construction made custom coachwork nearly impossible. The Phantom 6 remained in production until 1993, but after that, coach building was dead. For decades, if you wanted a Rolls-Royce, you got what everyone else got. You could pick the leather color and wood trim. But the shape, the form, non-negotiable. Until 2013, when the Sweptail was commissioned, it became the first fully coach-built Rolls-Royce of the modern era. And in 2017, when revealed, the automotive world realized coach building wasn't dead. It was just waiting for someone rich enough to resurrect it. Rolls-Royce's coach build program is invite-only. Not available on the website, not advertised. You don't apply for coach build, you get invited. The process is intimate. The design team sets out to understand the client's world, what they like and dislike, how they celebrate. This is luxury beyond luxury. This is being told, you are special enough to create something that has never existed. In 2024, Rolls-Royce saw a 10% year-over-year increase in bespoke content per vehicle, with ultra-wealthy clients commissioning solid 18-karat gold sculptures, 870,000 stitch embroideries, and laser-etched lighting with thousands of LED points. One Arcadia Droptail commission, priced at $31 million, featured a dashboard clock that took over 2 years to assemble, with 8,000 hours on wood craftsmanship alone. And for a certain class of individual, that's priceless. Here's the uncomfortable reality. The wealth gap is accelerating. There are more billionaires than ever, and they have more money than ever. In 2024, the Middle East became Rolls-Royce's largest market for bespoke vehicles. Traditional luxury brands chase the same customers with the same products, but Rolls-Royce cracked the code. Sell them something nobody else can have. CEO Chris Brownridge stated, "What we're seeing across every region of the world is decisive growth in demand from our clients to have a motor car that is more meaningful." That's the key phrase. Rolls-Royce's £300 million investment in Goodwood isn't about increasing production. It's about making more impossible cars possible. They're not building capacity to make more cars. They're building capacity to make more impossible cars. Because the Sweptail and Boat Tail aren't endpoints, they're proof of concept, proof that there's a market for one-of-one objects at any price. Proof that the ultra-wealthy will pay almost anything for absolute exclusivity. Proof that in the age of mass production, the future of luxury is returning to the past, when everything was made by hand, for one person, and one person only. So why do these cars exist? Not because they're fast, not because they're practical, not even because they're beautiful, though they are. They exist because at the absolute peak of wealth, the only thing left to buy is singularity. The Rolls-Royce Sweptail, commissioned in 2013 and revealed in 2017, marked the return of true coach building after a half-century hiatus. The Boat Tail followed in 2021, with 3 examples priced at approximately $28 million each, redefining what was possible in automotive luxury. These cars shouldn't exist. They're too expensive, too complex, too impractical. But they do exist, and that's the point. In a world where you can buy anything, the greatest luxury is owning something that shouldn't be possible. Something that will never be replicated. Something that, in 100 years, people will look at and say, how the hell did they build that? The Sweptail and Boat Tail aren't just cars. They're proof that magic still exists. You just need $13 million to see it.